it's a group of conquering heroes returning home to Morgantown. The Mountaineers swept 3 games in Lake Buena Vista, Florida, and in doing so, won the Advocare Invitational, improved their record to 6-1, and climbed to number 19 in both national polls. WVU returns home to face NJIT tonight on AT&T Sportsnet. Good evening. Thanks very much for being with us alongside WVU Hall of Famer Warren Baker. I'm Rob King, and Baker with apologies to the other 6 teams the Mountaineers have defeated this year. Their most impressive win came on Sunday night when they overcame a 16-point second-half deficit to knock off Missouri.
Well, things looked bleak for 33 minutes before they came charging back and coming back with one of the biggest comeback victories in Mountaineer history.
And they came back largely thanks to their outstanding senior guard duo, Javon Carter, a career-high 29, Daxter Miles Jr. with 26.
Well, when those 2 guys play like they did the other night, there's no question that they're the best tandem in the Big 12 and one of the best tandems in the country.
And a big reason they are ranked number 19 and looking to climb higher. The Mountaineers will look to improve their record to 7-1 on the season when they host NJIT. Tip-off is coming up next on AT&T Sportsnet. At the Coliseum in Morgantown, West Virginia, look at the starting lineups. We begin with the home Mountaineers, Lamont West and Wesley Harris, along with Sagaba Kanate up front, Javon Carter and Daxter Miles Jr. The backcourt for West Virginia. Let's head over to Robbie Inzbikowski.
All right, guys, we're here with head coach Bob Huggins. He gets set. Bob, it took a 16-point comeback in the final 8 minutes to win over Missouri. What do you look for from your team tonight as they try to make it 7 in a row?
Well, hopefully we're not going to try that again. We need to come out and play the whole game. We're having a hard time putting all 40 minutes together.
Thanks, Bob.
Yep.
Rob?
Robbie, thanks very much. Of course, legendary coach Bob Huggins, author of 825 wins. Here's NJIT, Abdul Lewis, Anthony Tark up front, Shaquan Gibbs, Riley Walsh, and DeAndre Wilson. The backcourt for Coach Brian Kennedy. And there is Brian Kennedy in his second year, the 1990 Monmouth grad. He was an assistant at NJIT prior to becoming the team's head coach, and we are underway. They have also ripped off 3 wins in a row. Mountaineers have won, as you heard Robbie say, 6 in a row. 7 in a row, I beg your pardon, 7-1 as we get set for today's game.
NJIT starting out in man-to-man.
Kanate, and off the mark, rebound, pulled down by DeAndre Wilson.
Mountaineers, that was a set play. They wanted to go in Kanate right away.
It's not a big NJIT team as we see Javon Carter, by the way, 2 steals away from tying the all-time steals record. Almost had one there. Oh, and Kanate soaring in with a block shot.
Out of nowhere. Looked like he might have landed awkwardly. Tark never saw him coming.
Kanate landing gingerly. He was in foul trouble in that 6th consecutive victory against Missouri, 6 in a row. West Virginia's won. He's out early now. Foul trouble in that game, and here a little shaken up as Logan Rout, or I beg your pardon, Magic Bender checks in for West Virginia. Backdoor cut, and rebound pulled down by Bender. Nice job coming in. But the turnover back the other way into the corner. Wilson able to get it to Lewis, and Lewis trying to find some room. Now a 3-point attempt, well off the mark by Tark. Carter slows, a minute in, still looking for our first basket of the game. I say the Highlanders very thin behind Abdul Lewis up front. The pull-up by West is good. Lamont West.
Lamont West has a tendency to be a totally different player when he hits that first 3. Look out if you give him some openings. West Virginia with their familiar full court pressure.
Lewis thought about it, and the indecision cost him a travel. I will say one thing about the Highlanders, that 3-guard attack, a lot of ball handlers. They did face a press against LIU in their last game. Be interesting to see how well they handle West Virginia's pressure in this game.
Well, 2 things. I don't think LIU's press is as good as West Virginia, and they only had 1 day to prepare for it.
The game occurring Tuesday night, and probably nobody in the country has as good a press as West Virginia. Bender has it blocked by Lewis, and then Bender, in trying to chase it down, will commit his first personal foul.
You know, I like to see Magic Bender becoming more aggressive inside. You know, he struggles shooting the ball from the perimeter, but in last couple of games, he's been much more aggressive inside.
Shaquan Gibbs able to break the pressure once again. Wilson now has a larger Bender on him, trying to take advantage and can't. Back out to Lewis. He'll try the three-pointer, and he'll hit his first three of the year. Been 0 for 5 prior to that three-pointer.
Well, he's coming off a 23-point game last time out, so he's still feeling it.
And 18 rebounds in that game.
What a double-double.
At 19 in a game a year ago, that is a Highlanders single-game record, so just one shy of tying his own school record. Carter has it stripped by Gibbs, is able to come back with it. Oh, nice feed down low to Bender, but he has it stolen away by Tark. Tark moves to the middle of the floor, and let's see if they're going to get, oh, they're going to get a travel. And let's get our keys worn to the game today, beginning with West Virginia.
Well, West Virginia needs to ground Abdul Lewis. He flew high last ball game. Forget about Disney World at this point. That's over with now. You know, get back here, reheat the Thanksgiving leftovers. Turn that oven back up and have the same type of heat that you had at the end of the ball game. Now, they need a strong start in NJIT. They need to start strong, which they have done. Attack the post inside, and then feel free to shoot the threes. They average about 23 threes a game shooting them. If you get that open look, take it.
NJIT, well, they get a little pressure of their own to come up with a turnover. Third turnover for West Virginia. DeAndre Wilson, three-pointer. He knocks it down. Wilson, one of the top scorers in the JUCO ranks a year ago, and at Mott Community College.
When you shoot that many threes a ball game, the coach has confidence in you, and then the players have confidence that they can take it.
Konate, by the way, is checked back into the game. Dumps it down low and in and out for Harris, but he'll have a chance to shoot a pair of free throws.
Follows whistled on Anthony Tark.
Now, Wilson didn't hesitate at all to put that up. West Virginia's going to have to come out, especially if they start hitting them. You know how you are with threes. You can live by them. They can also cost you. But if you start hitting them like that, then that can make a long evening for the defense.
Wilson really trending upwards after a slow start in his first few games at the Division I level, averaging almost 14 points per game over his last 3. Speaking of trending upward, Harris, 9 points, 10 rebounds, and some big defensive plays. And we talked about Miles and Carter down the stretch against Missouri, but I thought Wesley Harris was one of the key figures in that comeback as well.
He was. Defensively, Harris picks right back up where the Mountaineers left off, shooting free throws as well. Really good in that final game against Missouri. Especially Baxter Miles. Only missing one.
Wilson trying to go to work on Miles. Has to cut the dribble, in trouble. Wow, look at the move by Abdul Lewis.
Abdul Lewis, I'll tell you what a weapon he can be, because he can hit that outside shot. He can draw the big away from the basket, and as you saw there, he just beat Konate.
Most impressive. Teddy Allen, by the way, has checked into the game for West Virginia. That was the freshman passing off to Konate. West down low to Konate. Sags turnaround shot is off the mark, but Allen was such a strong rebounder. Now goes inside.
Teddy Allen.
There's such a strong player, and really a freshman who's come in warned from the very beginning and not been intimidated by the Division I level in the least. Foul by Daxter Miles Jr. NJIT has a good start for Abdul Lewis. Hits the 3 and then the driving layup. The Highlanders up by 2.
Well, over 4 minutes in, and the Mountaineers trail the NJIT Highlanders by 2. I'm Robbie and Smikowski. Well, for the West Virginia University Mountaineers, they had a pretty solid Thanksgiving break, and that included 3 wins in the Avocare Invitational, and that was proved to be a pretty good weekend. They had a lot of fun. They took home a trophy. It was 3 consecutive wins, starting with a victory over Marist, the 6-point victory. Then they beat UCF, followed by the win in the championship game over Missouri, which included a 16-point comeback in the final 8 minutes. It was the 3rd in-season tournament title in the last 4 years They won 2 others in Las Vegas and Puerto Rico. And as Bob Huggins said before, Tip, Robin Warren, let's hope they don't make it that dramatic tonight, okay?
Yeah, definitely. That is something that Bob Huggins doesn't want to see, is Lewis and Konate get tangled up, and it's a turnover, third by NJIT, and Bob Huggins see a little more intensity from his team, was exhorting them as they came out of that timeout.
You see teams pressure West Virginia. NJIT is putting more heat on West Virginia than they normally see. Most teams, once West Virginia gets it in, they drop back.
There's Miles with a 3-point attempt, no good, and Lewis with the rebound. And looking to push, this is freshman guard Zach Cooks, part of the highest rated recruiting class in NJIT history. Also checking in San Antonio Brinson, who has the ball now, part of that freshman class. Just one senior on this team. Well, that's not a good angle on that pass.
No, it was not. Konate had good defensive position. Yeah, that was an awful pass inside.
There's Allen with a 3-pointer, no good. And the rebound by Brinson. Brinson considered the most highly touted recruit in NJIT history. Just a freshman, missed the first couple games with a concussion. Backdoor cut to Walsh, and Walsh the lead for Brinson. That is rejected by Konate.
Sag's always back there to help out. Yep.
And Konate is going to get a push off here. Averaging over 3 blocks a game.
The problem is he can't stay on the floor.
Was only able to average just over 20 minutes per game, and a lot of that because of the foul difficulties.
Foul trouble, yes. He picked up 2 really quick fouls against Missouri and had to sit, and then his emotions got the best of him. He was on the pine quite a bit down the stretch of the ball game.
Chase Harler checking in from Moundsville, West Virginia. Is Lewis going to work? And Lewis is fouled, and Konate 2 quick fouls. So they attack him, and they will get him out of the ball game quickly. We talked about how thin NJIT is up front with the big guys, but Lewis is going to get Konate out, and that will bring Logan Rout into the game.
Well, we talked about him attacking the post, and that's exactly what they're doing right now. You know, a lot of teams come in here and they play well early on, and then they become frazzled. This team doesn't look like the moment's too big for them right now. You know, they may wear down because you did say they're short in numbers for the most part, especially in the post area. But as of right now, they're off to a good start, and that's what they wanted.
Yep, and it'll be interesting to see how Brian Kennedy mixes the young players in with some of their veteran guys. Very young team, just 1 senior on this team. That's Chris Jenkins, who is not yet checked into the ball game. Lewis hits both free throws. And once again showing this pressure against West Virginia. And they lost earlier to Kansas State. That was their, the other ranked team they played earlier this season. Other than that, they've been playing good basketball as we see Allen take the ball in. Nice strong move over Brinson. And again, they've looked very confident.
Yes, they do. Yeah. Teddy Allen always tells Bob Huggins, I can score the ball, coach. Just give me the ball, I can score it.
Lewis in the backdoor cut to Cooks, and now Cooks gets a hand on it and steals it back the other way. And into Brinson, and Brinson finishes. 5 West Virginia turnovers, a 4-point NJIT lead.
West Virginia sloppy handling the basketball.
Carter will leave it off for Rout. There's Allen, he'll try another one, and if he keeps telling Bob Huggins he can score, he's certainly not making a liar out of himself. A good fast start for Teddy Allen. Down low, nice backdoor cut, shot by Shondell Jones off the mark. Shondell from just up the road in Pittsburgh. Started at North Hills High School, moved on to the Kiski area. Got friends and family.
West Virginia fortunate. Abdul Lewis had pretty good position inside, just couldn't corral the ball. Logan Rout's going to have to put a body on and push him away from the basket. He's just too good of a rebounder.
NJIT continuing to pressure West Virginia. Daxter Miles wants to go to work. He'll try the step back shot off the mark. Battle, Allen with the rebound, kicks it out to Carter. Three-pointer on the way is good. Offensive rebound by Allen, three-pointer by Carter.
Give Teddy Allen a lot of credit. He stayed with it, got the ball, and found an open Carter.
Checking in for the Mountaineers.
Vito Bolden is checked into the game for West Virginia.
Checking back into the
Carter was ready to let it go when he got it, but again, give Allen a lot of credit. He was the guy that made that play.
And Javon Carter makes 100 threes a day. That's pretty impressive. 100 free throws, 100 threes every day in and around practice. There's Tark rejected by Rout, and there's the rebound followed by Shondell Jones, who we mentioned, Shondell Jones up the road from Pittsburgh. So his first basket, as we mentioned, family and friends here to see him in town. Now the moving screen and a foul, and that's going to be called on Rout.
Foul is called on Logan Rout.
Now, that's one thing that you have, after that call has been made one time, know full well that the officials are looking for it to come stationary and stay there.
NJIT a 1-point lead.
Got a mismatch inside with Lewis.
There's Cackle-Reese, who's checked into the game. David Cackle-Reese missed his first three-point attempt. And Carter pulls up, whistle as he took that shot, and a foul underneath. And that foul is going to be against Abdul Lewis, his first. NJIT not only hanging in there, but leading the Mountaineers 14-13. At the Coliseum in Morgantown, a 1-point lead for NJIT, who back in 2014-15 stunned number 17 ranked Michigan 72-70 in Ann Arbor. That was considered the biggest upset in college basketball that season. Sophomore guard Devon Lynn sank 6 3-pointers, finished with 20 points. They also knocked off St. John's the following year when Lynn scored 32. Now Lynn, the leading scorer in Highlanders history, did graduate along with Tim Coleman, the school's all-time leading rebounder, but hoping to join this list: Montana, Indiana State, UC Riverside, Georgia Southern, all pulling off big upsets over Power 5 conference teams. Carter, three-pointer just off the mark, and rebound to Lewis, his fourth of the game.
Look at the stats early. Points off a turnover, 5 for NJIT, none for West Virginia. It's usually just the opposite.
Here's Cackle-Reese, and he finds Jones, and Jones in and out. Rebound to Carter.
Even though that shot didn't go down, they're getting good looks.
Carter goes coast to coast to give West Virginia a 1-point lead. Jones wants to go right down the middle, shot off the mark. Had to try to adjust it over Logan Rout. And here comes Teddy Allen into the corner. Bolden, not enough room, but Carter left wide open, and Javon Carter hits the three.
Somebody forgot about a scouting report there. They left Carter, and certainly he can knock that down.
West Virginia has extended their lead to 18-14. Tough shot. Oh my. Shaquan Gibbs. Gibbs is now 15 of 20 from the floor this year. Doesn't shoot a lot, but my, is that effect. He's 8 for 10 from three-point range, babe. Doesn't shoot much, but he sure makes him count and cuts the lead to 1. There's Cackle-Reese now. Gibbs pulls up. A lot of backdoor cuts. Here's another one inside, and the block call on Bolden, and so Anthony Tark, second leading scorer for the Highlanders, will go to the free throw line with a chance to put NJIT back in the lead.
Yeah, I think that was a good call. Beetle still sliding, not established really good position. You know, Coach Brian Kennedy, he's somewhat of a disciple of the Princeton-type offense. You'll see a lot of backdoor cuts, a lot of patient things. They don't keep cutting until they find someone open unless they hit the three like they've been doing.
By the way, Tark obviously not going to the free throw line. So they said it was on the floor. Tark with the drive. Ooh, nice finish by Anthony Tark.
West Virginia getting beat off the dribble, and then the help defense slow getting there.
You mentioned the guys who graduated, Coleman and Lynn, among 4 senior starters who graduated from a year ago, but Tark, a preseason All-Atlantic Sun selection, as was Lewis, so the cupboard certainly not bare. Now Gibbs and Bolden tied up, and Bolden some sharp words, it appeared, for teammate.
Hunter gets beat off the dribble, and you can see West Virginia, Harris, and Rout late getting over to help. Logan tried to alter the shot, but to no avail. West Virginia's got to do a better job on the ball and also with help defense.
Highlanders up 1. Oh, Carter has the ball stolen away by Gibbs. Quick hands by Shaquan Gibbs. 7th West Virginia turnover. Gibbs back to Lewis. He'll try another 3, and this one off the mark. Mentioned he had been 0 for 5 coming in, hit his first 3. Missed that one. And now a nice blow by Daxter Miles Jr.
Yeah, and Abdul Lewis really late getting over to help.
Walsh has it taken away by Javon Carter. Up ahead to Harris. Walsh got a hand on that, but Miles there to finish.
Carter with the steal. See if West Virginia starts now getting some turnovers in bunches. That happens with that defense sometimes.
And Wilson takes it to the hole. So Javon Carter with that steal now needed 2 to tie the all-time school record, and he has done that with that steal right here.
Foul is whistled on Javon Carter, his first.
Unselfishly gave the ball up to Harris. Harris had it knocked there, but there's Miles right on the spot.
So it's Greg Jones, who played from 1980 to 83, who had the original steals record. Of course, Press Virginia has helped, but Javon Carter has helped as well. Just a remarkable defensive player. Wilson's free throw off the mark.
Checks in for the Mountaineers.
Cook's back in for NJIT, and West back in for West Virginia.
Abdul Lewis, 6'10" for the New Jersey Technology Highlanders, Institute Highlanders. West Virginia size down, bringing Lamont West in for Logan Rout.
So Lewis at 6'10", the biggest player on the floor. Here's Bolden, 3-pointer. Beetle Bolden, what a stroke he has. Knocks down the 3.
I've been in a number of practices. I don't think I've ever seen him get cold. Now that's not a wise foul. And 75 feet from the basket, you don't want that after just hitting the 3.
So Bolden, the 3-pointer, has put West Virginia up 25-20 with 7:58 remaining in the first half. Well, the fans here head over heels about their Mountaineers. Sags Kanate makes the early presence felt, but NJIT led through a lot of this first half. West Virginia has hit their last 5 field goals and has extended their lead to 25-20 with under 8 minutes remaining here in the first half. Reason to celebrate? Bob Huggins, maybe not quite so celebratory a mood for him.
Bob was really concerned about how his ball club was going to come out after having such an emotional victory over Missouri Sunday evening.
One hand, the ball.
And Zach Cooks, the freshman, hits the first free throw from Lawrenceville, Georgia. I think that's a legitimate question, right? I mean, you have this emotional victory over another Power 5 school. How are you going to bounce back? How are you going to find that same energy? Cook sits them both.
And not so much that it was a victory over a Power 5 school, but the way in which you did it, coming back like that.
16-point deficit. It was 13 with some 4 minutes left in the game. Carter, three-pointer, off the mark, kept alive, and Tark with the rebound. Up to Walsh, a little slow. NJIT has attacked, not sat back. And now Lewis will be called for his second personal foul drawn by Lamont West, and that is a big personal foul. Lewis will have to check out, and Mohamed Bendari will check in.
There was some contact there, but I think there may have been just a little acting along with that.
Checks in for the Highlanders.
Regardless of whether it's acting or not, West Virginia got the call that they wanted. Lewis on the pine now.
Carter, oh my, Javon Carter has put West Virginia's offense on his back. And he has 11 points.
You worry about Carter in transition, NJIT better find him in the half court. Again, you see a lot of motion and backdoor cuts.
You know, been talking to Javon a little bit over the last couple games we've had here. His three-pointer well off the mark by Wilson. And just learning how to be a point guard. Allen gets himself in trouble. West the three-pointer in and out. And Walsh to rebound. A lot of that is getting a feel for when you should shoot, when you should set up your teammates. Here's Cooks in the corner, off the mark. And the battle on the foul is going to be on Tark. But it looks like Javon Carter is deciding. A lot of times his offense will come late when his team needs it. He's gotten the rest of his teammates involved. Looks to me, Bake, like he's decided that they need his offense now.
Yes, you're right. You know,
there's Javon Carter.
Teddy Allen came in and gave him some instant offense. But really, Javon's been the steady guy, scoring along with running the team.
There's Miles now. Kicks it back out. Wesley Harris, three-pointer well off the mark, and Gibbs doing a nice job not traveling there. Riley Walsh, and they're going to say no before the shot. Personal foul on Chase Harlow.
NJIT looks for that three, and if they don't have it, you come out, then they're going to come and they're going to attack. Good job. Good call by the official. Block going to Harlow. They'll try to slide all the way over, even if you have to put your foot out of bounds to get that position.
Riley Walsh.
The line for the Highlanders.
Father John won a Catholic City League championship, the only team from Staten Island to ever win that back in 1983. Same high school that Riley attended. And nice for him to hit the front of that one-and-one, just 1 for 4 at the free throw line coming into this game.
Well, they're not a good free throw shooting team. They were only 10 for 20 against LIU the other night. Last in the league in free throw shooting.
Carter doing a great job tracking that down. They are, however, first in defense.
Yes.
And we've seen why. This has been an impressive defensive performance against West Virginia thus far. All right, free throws. Well, you hate to lose those points at the free throw line, especially when you're an underdog.
That's right.
And Carter forced to throw one up to beat the shot clock. Here comes Wilson. And Wilson, nice move. DeAndre Wilson.
No hesitation in Wilson, and Bob Huggins not happy.
Timeout called by the Mountaineers.
And I think it's for something that didn't happen on the defensive end, perhaps. Certainly has caught Lamont West's attention. That's attention sometimes you'd rather not have during the course of a game with Bob Huggins as the head coach. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's one of those things sometimes, and I've been in that situation where you're out on the floor and you keep waiting for Charlie to do it. Well, there's no guy named Charlie on your team.
Right.
You know, you keep looking around, where's Charlie? He's going to do it. soon. You know, we've seen Javon Carter stay right now. I better turn into Charlie and do something here because the rest of these guys are looking around waiting.
Yep, he's leading by example here. He's become a more vocal leader. But, you know, it's interesting. You know, you see Bob Huggins and you see the intensity and you see the voice being raised. What you don't see is how many of his players love playing for him, understand what he's all about, and, you know, come back as alumni to come to West Virginia games. So, you know, again, sometimes some of that is not, it's behind the scenes stuff that you don't necessarily see happening.
That's exactly right. It's tough love.
West will try the three, and that's a pretty thick-skinned three-pointer by Lamont West.
That'll get me back in the good graces. I can't imagine a scouting report says give Lamont West an open three.
Here's Brinson going to work on Harler, and the freshman San Antonio Brinson.
Now, Chase Harler got beat down the middle again, but West Virginia, again, very slow, rotating over for help defense.
Brinson, a graduate of South Kent School in Connecticut that produced Isaiah Thomas, among others, the current Isaiah Thomas, not the Isaiah Thomas of more of our era.
Yeah, yesteryear.
Teddy Allen in for Chase Harler.
You know, if you're Bob Huggins too, you just have to, I would think, be a little bit concerned about the number of minutes Javon Carter plays. Can he keep up with that amount of minutes the entire year? You know, that's going to be a grind because he's going to be a marked man. But it doesn't seem to affect him yet, but it's still early in the year.
He's so well conditioned, works so hard, but right, and then you get the wear and tear of the season, and then, you know, bigger bodies bumping you in Big 12 play.
And West Virginia doesn't have the shortest travel either when you talk about the Big 12.
Right. No, that's a good point. Oh boy, Gibbs had a hand on that. The pass floated lazily across court. Gibbs back to West. Three-pointer, in and out. Back to Javon Carter. And Carter will get the reach-around foul drawn on Shaquan Gibbs.
Foul to number 11, Shaquan Gibbs, his second, team foul number 7.
Been very little fluid about West Virginia's offense in the half court tonight. You know, Javon Carter stepped out and just hit a couple of threes when things were breaking down. And you saw Teddy Allen do some things, but for the most part, there hasn't been a lot of flow to their offensive sets.
Carter now a free throw attempt, front end of a 1-and-1. It's the first. Well, it's really been a pleasure to watch him progress. Came in as a two-guard. Reputation as a good defender, but really learned how to play defense night in and night out, has emerged as a leader, as a point guard. And that hasn't happened by accident either.
No, that's exactly. A lot of hard work. You come over any time in the practice facility, you look out there, you hear a ball bouncing, and it's probably him. Yeah, West Virginia's pressure finally getting a turnover on their side of the court.
Brian Kennedy trying to make sure his team stays in it. We've seen a lot of times where this becomes a danger zone in these last 4 or 5 minutes of the half. Suddenly a 5 or 6 point lead turns into a 15 or 20 point lead. Dump down to Allen. Allen going to work. And Bendari able to alter that. Allen gets the ball back, and now he will be fouled inside. I mean, this is on Bendari. This would be 2 on him. I believe it is on Bendari. So 2 on Lewis and 2 on Bendari now.
That's just hard work. Teddy Allen was not going to be denied getting that ball back, and he manages to get up another shot. It's always nice to have a grinder like that on your team. Somebody that's going to go in there all the time, going to get the friendly roll. Go in there and mix things up. Do the dirty work, the hard work down low that you have to have.
Right, they call those guys glue guys, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You look up and all of a sudden, you know, you haven't really noticed anything flashy, but it's 14 points and 8 rebounds,
right.
You know, one of those sort of games. Here's Brinson, and Brinson is going to draw a charging penalty. Is Lamont West able to step in front, make the defensive play on the 9th turnover for NJIT. But Javon Carter has stepped forth for the Mountaineers. 13 points. West Virginia up 34-26 in the first half. Under the standings.
Well, they've got that big target on the back, that's for sure. You don't win 2 in a row without everybody wanting a piece of you.
No doubt about it. They get everybody's best shot. NJIT giving West Virginia its best shot right now. Within 8. Oh, my. Mix up defensively,
yes,
and Miles right there.
No communication. 2 guys left Miles. One should have stayed there, and that was an easy layup.
Shondell Jones being guarded by Teddy Allen. 10 on the shot clock. Trouble. And Wilson in big, big trouble. Able to get loose to Jones, and not sure what we have here. Timeout?
Boy, I know Bob Huggins wanted a 5-second call there. Didn't get it. I'm assuming that NJIT did get a timeout.
Timeout called by the Highlanders.
Yes.
A 30-second
Yeah, Brinson, you can see on the left of your screen, San Antonio Brinson, the freshman.
Right.
And it's interesting because they had a little 2-on-1 after that, but I mean, if you're Brinson, you don't know, right?
No,
I mean, you
that's
don't.
exactly right.
And it did seem like very close to being that 5-second call that would have been a turnover. With 3:12 remaining in the first half, NJIT has led several times here in this first half of play. West Virginia trying to stretch things out before the break.
Well, NJIT really has to be careful here. They want to make sure that they can keep this thing. It's 10 right now. Abdul Lewis is probably going to stay on the bench the rest of this half. They've got to keep this thing manageable until they can get him back on the court here in the second half.
Cooks the inbounds to Jenkins, who's checked into the game for the first time. Very good three-point shooter, and Brinson had to fling one up there. Shot clock violation.
That's the problem sometimes when you call a timeout like that. Somebody should be aware of that shot clock, and obviously just now the Highlanders weren't.
10th turnover for Brian Kennedy's team.
You hope your point guard or one of the assistant coaches most of the time has to yell that out and let the players know.
Miles trying to go to work inside, out to Carter, and Javon Carter, another three-pointer, his 4th in the first half. He has 16 points.
Cooks left him again.
And Daxter Miles Jr. will be called for the foul that Bob Huggins does not agree with. He's searching for the replay up on the monitor.
Well, if anybody tripped him, it was more Javon Carter.
Yeah, and they have switched the foul to Javon Carter.
Oh, have they? Okay.
Yep. And Wilson able to hit the first free throw. Bob Huggins clearly displeased with that call. But look, if you want intensity out of your team in a game like this, you've got to show some intensity and have their back when you disagree with the call as well. Wilson makes the second. Lead back down to 11. And NJIT has shown some pressure, some token pressure. They forced some turnovers. Oh, Carter, three-pointer off the mark, but Miles with the rebound. Maybe trying to deliver a little bit of a message there to Cooks was Javon Carter. Cooks has been dogging him, the freshman from Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Foul is called on Chris Jenkins, his first, foul number 10.
Jenkins has a foul called on him, and 10th personal foul, so 2 free throws for Teddy Allen.
Now, as it should be, NJIT is a totally different team without Lewis on the floor. I mean, he's their big gun. Somebody for them really needs to step up.
Checking in for the Mountaineers, Chase Hartler.
You could be within a dozen or so if you're Brian Kennedy. Probably take that at the half.
That's exactly right.
See if you can mount a bit of a run in the second half. Allen's second free throw is good. That lead is a dozen, 40-28 for the Mountaineers. They get it into DeAndre Wilson, and Wilson able to get the roll.
Basket by Wilson.
Well, Wilson's pretty doggone quick. He beat Chase Harler. Chase, as hard as he could not catch up.
There's Harler with a three-pointer. Chase Harler.
No hesitation in Harler on that shot. You like to see that.
And Brinson, ooh, almost lost the handle. Jenkins able to get it up to Wilson. Wilson spins in the middle. Shot is off the mark. Rebound to Harler. Up to Lamont West, and West, the left hand, past Brinson. And the lead to 15 now. Jenkins, excellent three-point shooter, knocks it down.
Three-pointer by Jenkins.
Well, he is one guy you have to find in transition.
Did not hesitate. They will shoot the three.
He is 11 for 22 from three-point range this year.
And Dax Miles.
And shot it with a bunch of confidence. I think Lamont West has a little bit of blood on him. He's out of the game. Dax Miles checks in for him.
Both teams have been effective from three-point range. West Virginia is 7 of 17. NJIT 4 of 9 in this game. So each team has shot the ball well. There's Teddy Allen. Allen has it go off his knee and out of bounds, and it will be NJIT basketball. Here's a look at it. Yeah,
Absolutely no question
right.
about that.
8th turnover for West Virginia. Cook's hesitation dribble, boy, tried to split two defenders. They're going to pay the price as Allen finishes with a jam. And that is Carter's record-setting steal. Oh, Brinson went up and was met at the rim, off his face, out of bounds. Logan Rout, the fine defensive job for West Virginia.
Excellent, excellent defensive play by Rout.
And there's Carter. That is the record-setting steal, the most steals in West Virginia history, breaking the record held by Greg Jones from 1980 to 1983. 252nd career steal for Javon Carter. See the differential between the game clock and the shot clock.
Got a clear out for Javon Carter.
Step back three-pointer off the mark. Rebound to Harris, and the foul as Harris able to finish it off, and that's on Bendari. It's his third. And it is on Bendari.
No box out on the backside. Good job by Harris to get in there and get good position.
Wes Harris at the line, one shot.
You know, when that shot goes up from the corner like that, most of the time, if it's going to rebound, it's going to come off that weak side. Good job by Harris to sneak in.
Misses, and Miles with the rebound. He'll try a three-pointer, short, kept alive. Jenkins will try the long three. And, ooh, boy, that was right on target, but a little strong. And NJIT has come in. They fought gamely, but West Virginia beginning to pull away. They enjoy a 49-33 halftime lead as we go over to Robbie and Smikowski with Coach Bob Huggins.
Bob, Javon Carter, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals to go with it. A very well-rounded stat line. How critical is he to the function of your offense?
Well, obviously, he's got 16 of our whatever we got, 49. We're not playing very well. We're not moving the ball, and we're not guarding.
What's it going to take to play better?
You want to come in and try a pep talk? I tried before the game, and I obviously wasn't very successful.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go.
I'm following you in.
Let's go.
Rob, I'm not really following him in, okay?
Robbie, thank you very much with head coach Bob Huggins. And West Virginia's lead against the game NJI team, Highlanders team, is 16-49-33. Halftime show coming up next. In Morgantown, West Virginia, the Mountaineers, 19th ranked team in the country, leading NJIT out of the Atlantic Sun, 49-33. NJIT had to lead throughout a lot of this first half thanks to their good three-point shooting.
Good three-point shooting, and Abdul Lewis doing a lot of good work for them. They like to shoot the three, and if you give them just a little bit of daylight, they will knock them down.
Meanwhile, Teddy Allen, 10 points and 5 rebounds for West Virginia in the first half.
Doesn't always look pretty, but he gets it done, and that's the thing that counts.
Javon Carter, meanwhile, 16 points on 4 for 8 shooting from three-point range.
Well, the glue was there. I mean, he's holding this crowd together here in the first half. Hit some big shots when they really needed them.
Let's take a look at the first half stats and anything in particular here that really sticks out to you.
Now, West Virginia finally on the plus side of rebounding, got really out-rebounded by Missouri, but they're ahead on the boards now, and finally got up on the points off the turnovers. That's huge.
And the turnovers 11 for NJIT, and they're announcing Javon Carter setting the all-time steals record, and the crowd here giving him a good round of applause, and now a standing ovation for that man, Javon Carter.
Well deserved.
Again, Greg Jones had the record from 1980 to 83, and Javon Carter now, congratulations, as he breaks the all-time steal record, 252 in his sensational career here at West Virginia.
Had to do it at halftime. Not like baseball, guy gets a home run, you can stop the game, give him a ball or a strikeout. Basketball is up and down, so it's pretty difficult to do.
I mean, you're looking at a guy here averaging 18 points a game. And you take a look at the steals. Over 4 rebounds, 5.5 assists a game, 4.4 steals per game, just in every facet of the game. Has been the leader for the Mountaineers. That's Lewis, who's checked back in along with Konate. Backdoor cut, and the jam by Tark.
Good set play out of the coming out at halftime here. Lewis with an excellent backdoor pass. That's one of those Princeton cuts you talk about. Overplay, go backdoor.
Harler with Carter and Miles. On the switch, Konate's got a little one on him and lost the handle. He's able to go back up with it and score easily over Shaquan Gibbs. So he had to be salivating with that matchup. Gibbs 6'1", 150.
Yeah. I can't believe that they didn't double down, because that was Carter back at it again.
Out to Harler. 3-point attempt is good for Chase Harler, as Zags Konate goes tumbling to the floor. And Lamont West checking in is wearing number 22. Wondering, as we see Harler hits that 3-pointer, and then you can see the bottom of your screen there, Konate getting tangled up with Riley Walsh. You wonder, you mentioned the blood earlier, so perhaps that's why he's wearing number 22. It is, in fact, why he's wearing 22, we're told. And Carter nearly another steal. And now this pressure starting to wear on NJIT, it appears, a little bit.
If you're a point guard, you know you can't sleep the night before, and then if you have a bad night, you probably can't sleep the night after you play against Carter.
Personal foul well away from the ball. And a technical foul will be called, I believe, on Coach Brian Kennedy.
It's team foul number 1.
Something was said over on the bench that the official didn't like.
Javon Carter.
And coaching with a lot of passion. We saw that in the shoot-around this morning. And Carter calmly hits both free throws, and the lead now up to a game-high 21 points for West Virginia.
out of that good set coming out of halftime for NJIT. They need some more of that.
Walsh just able to get it into Wilson. Harler guarding him. Wilson, tough shot, can't get it to go, and Konate with the rebound. Carter kicks, corner, West, three-pointer, in and out.
Boy, West with a good look.
And now another deflection. West Virginia basketball here. West spinning through the lane and gets it to go.
West flexes his muscles after dropping that one down.
A beautiful play here off the steal, the pass, and the finish by West. And the Mountaineers lead is at 58-35 with West trying to score his 10th point. And we'll move into double figures.
Boy, that's a cheap foul. Lewis didn't need to pick up. Just a little shove.
Lewis just able to save to Walsh. Lewis took one right in the face. And the refs missed it as Javon Carter bending over to try to help him out. He just lost his sight there. Lewis wondering why there was no foul called there. He had a point. I mean, Carter apologized to him, you know, coming up and defending him and accidentally poked him in the eye.
NJIT staying man for the majority of the evening. They played a little bit of zone, but for the most part, they've been man.
Konate going to work. The up and under and the jam.
Take that. Wow.
Whew. Was that impressive? And now the turnover, it'll be West Virginia basketball. Oh my, Konate.
With authority.
A 12-0 West Virginia run punctuated by that jam.
Boy, lug nuts coming off the wheels right now for NJIT.
Konate getting 2 early fouls, had to sit out a lot of that first half. It also apparently rolled his ankle early on. Oh, now they're going to get him to the travel.
Boy, so anxious to get going. Can't forget the rules of the game. You got to put it down on the floor before you move the feet.
Get it inbounds to Wilson once again with Harler on him. Gibbs doing a nice job of keeping that dribble alive. Tark, the fall away three-pointer, no good. Carter up to Miles. Kicked out to Harler, three-pointer on the way off the mark. That could have gone either way, I think. Carter going to be called for the reach. Looked like Wilson kind of had the arm bar out there a little bit as well.
Yeah, could have gone either way.
Yeah, he's got the left hand out, and Carter's got the right hand on the hip. In football, that would be offsetting penalties, maybe. Into Tark, and Tark, the pump fake, and oh, Konate still able to recover and get the block shot, and the tie-up. Possession arrow, West Virginia.
How quick did he get back off his feet again? He went for the pump fake and then came back, still able to get the block.
So impressive.
As Bob Huggins says, we just need to figure out a way to keep him on the floor.
Right. And the foul trouble again, limiting him to just over 20 minutes of action tonight, 20 and a half minutes. The number's good, but how much better would they be if he could play 26, 27 minutes? Here's West on the kickback and the three.
Javon Carter driving in the lane, attracting all the attention. West spotting up, and that's the one thing that he can do is knock that down.
A 15-0 run for West Virginia. Carter's going to be called for another personal foul. Bob Huggins, hands on head, can't believe it.
Team foul number 2.
You know, one of the things you notice about Javon Carter, which is, you know, the number one attribute I think you want out of a point guard. You know, yes, you want to be able to distribute and defend. And he just wants to win.
Yes.
So he needed to score early, he felt, and did that. Here's Gibbs in the nice dunk down to Tark, or drop down to Tark. He dunks it. Tark, very athletic player. And now Javon Carter seems content with the lead expanding to try to set up his teammates. There it is again. Miles, three-pointer, short. Rebound to Wilson. Wilson drives in and lays it in.
One of the things that really hurt West Virginia against Missouri the other night, Carter got in foul trouble and had to throttle back. But with about 7 minutes to go, he said, heck with it, I'm going to play my game. And the rest of the team caught fire with him.
That one off the mark, tracked down by Harler. Here's Miles now with a fresh shot clock. Konate wants one from 17 feet, rattles out, and Miles going to be called for an over-the-back foul, so it'll be NJIT possession when we return. But Sags Konate, the minutes limited because of the foul trouble, but that is unlimited. High and with a jam. West Virginia up 25. As part of AT&T Sportsnet's partnership with West Virginia University, one of the programs, job shadowing. So we have students that are following around folks in the truck, and producers, cameramen, other technicians in the truck. Some of the folks like Robbie and Smikowski, Warren Baker and myself, job shadows, trying to learn something about the business. Robbie carrying on. Imagine that. There he is. Okay. The effervescent Robbie and Smikowski.
Just a world of knowledge.
So West Virginia, a big run to expand their lead to 25. NJIT has scored the last 5 points, and now will inbound. Trying to hit the long home run. And it's Tark who is able to make the catch but can't finish there. Oh, Gibbs, tough shot as Bender's able to come out and challenge that.
Yeah, Bender did a good job. Went straight up. Didn't block it, but altered the shot.
Mentioned Gibbs doesn't miss many shots. And now they'll get Gibbs with a personal foul, and he's not wild about the call. By the way, cousin of Ashton Gibbs, the former Pitt Star sharpshooter, Sterling and Temple Gibbs, all college basketball players. Shaquan and his older brother Shelton.
Good bloodline.
Yeah, son of Shelton, brother of Shelton, son of Shelton. His dad, the coach at Henry Snyder High School in New Jersey, so coach's son, and that'd be a pretty good 5-man team. Like the Ashton Gibbs family, the Shelton Gibbs family. Ten on the shot clock. In the corner, Bolden, three-pointer, contested, but knocked down. But Cacarees couldn't play much better defense than that. Vito Bolden, just such a smooth stroke. And they're going to get Bender trying to keep up with Abdul Lewis. South Alabama transfer, the junior.
Bolden has two things really going for him. He elevates pretty good for a guy his size, and he gets it. He releases so quick. He gets it away before guys have the time to really adjust to it.
Cacarees, the all-time leading scorer at Mayes High School in Pennsylvania. Able to drive through and get the layup. Carter pull up And Javon Carter continues his stellar game.
You talk about everything Javon Carter does. He looks like he could score anytime he wants to.
Tackle reach will try the three. Off the mark, pulled in the rebound. The trailer! Oh! And West missed the jam, and NJIT just let that ball go, and now off Carter's leg and out of bounds.
I think he took off just a little too far out. He stretched as far as he could.
They're well outside the circle.
Started running out of elevation at the end.
Tark, pull up, no good. Tackle Riso able to track it down. NJIT's won 3 in a row. They're picked to finish 8th in their league. As that ball's out of bounds and will be West Virginia basketball. I'll be very interested to watch their progress in the A-Sun because they're young. They lost 4 senior starters. I think maybe some people didn't know what to think about them as we see the nice block from West. And off tackle is here standing out of bounds. But I'll be interested to see their progress because they look fearless. They look like they've got a lot of parts in place. They're still young and still improving, but
well, you know, they're picked 8th in the league of 8 teams, but they have 2 guys that are preseason all-conference there. That's pretty good for a team. That tells you that people think that they're going to grow. Abdul Lewis and Anthony Tark both preseason picks in the league.
There's Route, but a jump hook, Logan Route.
Well, that brings Eric Martin, who takes care of the big guys, to his feet. That's something that he's been waiting to see.
Chase Harlow with a steal, but yeah, how about Logan Route?
Oh, Eric applauded him on there, gave him a standing O. And that's what they're going to need out of Logan. Nobody's expecting a ton out of him, but come in, that little nice sweeping hook, soft touch. He works on it every day and gets rewarded.
Yeah, there's Eric Martin.
Yeah.
And Logan Route, former walk-on, earned a scholarship. Look, good enough athlete at 6'11" to play quarterback on his high school football team.
I've got to see a clip of that. I'd love to see it. I've never seen a clip. Surely to goodness there's a clip of it someplace. Let's call Cameron High School and see if we can get a clip of that.
That would be impressive. Yeah, another, especially with Konate, with the foul troubles, Allen will have a chance for a 3-point play. Teddy Allen, the freshman, with the foul difficulties Konate's had, still growing into learning that part of the game. You're going to need some depth at center position.
Excellent look, pass. Teddy Allen cuts, and when he gets the basketball, he knows what he wants to do with it.
So he's holding his left wrist. That appears to be okay. 2 points shy of his career high of his young career, 14 on our air against American University. Now 1 shy of that mark.
Teddy with a new hairdo tonight. I wonder if he thought guys wouldn't recognize who he was.
Here's Cackle Reese. And, ooh, that's how you become the all-time leading scorer in your high school history,
yeah,
right?
Put it up over a 6'10" guy, a 6'6" and a 6'10" guy.
Nice finish by David Cackle Reese.
Javon Carter on the bench for a much-deserved rest.
Allen fouled by Riley Walsh as he tries to drive to the basket.
Bob Huggins has Beetle Bowling running the point right now. West Virginia, obviously, you never want anything to happen to Mr. Glue, Javon Carter, but, you do really need to have somebody there just in case. Carter got in foul trouble in the game down in Disney, and guys have to step up. Dax played a lot of the point.
As we go over to Robbie and Zbikowski. Robbie?
Yeah, you guys are talking about Javon Carter here setting the all-time steals record in program history, and I asked him about it. He said, hey, this is something I've always tried to do since high school, steal the ball, but most of the time it was just me reaching and really never getting the ball. But the coolest thing about setting this record is now every time somebody gets a steal, they have a chance to break my record. He thought he would end up in the record books in one way or another, but he thought it might be for most threes made in a game. Certainly wasn't the all-time steals record, but nonetheless, pretty impressive, Robin Warren.
It was. You know, he came to school, a nice pass to Capital Reese. He came to school, Warren, with a reputation of being a good defender, but I talked to him about it before the game, and he said he was a good defender when it was somebody that was, you're supposed to be a good player, maybe supposed to be better than he was, and it wasn't game in and game out. And I said, if you went back now, would you be a different defender in high school? He said, absolutely. He's learned how to defend every game and bring that effort every single game. And you don't become the all-time steal leaders by being a sometime defender. Oh, Cackley spinning pass as Cooks misses the three-pointer.
I don't know how he even knew the Cook was in that corner.
Cue up Sweet Georgia Brown on that pass. That was something to watch. Step back, off the mark, and they're going to get route for an over-the-back foul call. And we're going to take a break with West Virginia up 77-45, 11:25 remaining in the second half. December 16th at 2 p.m. Wheeling Jesuit, Coppin State, and Fordham. Remaining games on AT&T Sportsnet. 6 games this year.
Abdul Lewis really not a factor in the ball game. Had 7 points at halftime. Of course, he was in foul trouble. Still had 7. Had 4 rebounds at halftime. Has 5 now. So certainly not the type of game that he had coming in after coming off that 23-point, 18-rebound explosion.
And picked up an early personal foul in this half. So I would imagine that we're going to see him for most of the rest of the way here. And the failure to inbound leads to the timeout call by Anthony Tark. So we're going to take another timeout as the Mountaineers up 77-45. Well, NJIT came in here to Morgantown and put up a good fight, especially early on. West Virginia has begun to pull away from out west. A beautiful spin move through traffic. The Mountaineers up 77-45. West has 13, and Canate, although not big numbers, the biggest exclamation point of the night.
Well, I tell you what, he's getting limited minutes sometimes because of foul trouble, but while he's on the court, he usually makes some spectacular plays.
Here's Lewis, and there's Carter.
Why would you ever throw a ball anywhere in the vicinity of Carter?
Right, it's like a, you know, Revis Island, right, with Darrell Revis, just maybe pick the other half of the court. Bolden trying to get it to Miles, posting up. 3 in the shot clock. Miles in trouble. Will force one up. And the rebound to Tark and NJIT, and Tark called for a travel. 18th turnover for NJIT.
NJIT did a pretty good job, you know, the first 12, 13 minutes of this ball game of handling the heat. But after a while, it just wears on you, You get tired, you get careless, and then that's when the turnovers can come in bunches.
I think Brian Kennedy's going to have a lot to reflect on that is positive for his team.
I agree.
Route, the spin move, the left hand, and the rebound to Tark, who is fouled.
You know, that shot did not go down for him, but it's good to see him attempting that. Going back with that left hand, that's something they've worked on. Eventually, that's going to drop for him.
And Canate checks back in for Route. Well, Florida Gulf Coast is the team to beat, certainly, in the Atlantic Sun. The overwhelming pick, and who emerged as a very good mid-major program. Again, as we talked about, NJIT, a lot of positives. There's a tough pass, and not a great angle there as they try to go back door. Carter, three-pointer. Carter, good. 23 for Carter, 5 for 10 from three-point range.
Has the complete package.
And Tark found himself stuffed by the rim, is able to battle back for it, but guess who with a loose ball? Carter on the move to Bolden, corner, three, too strong. Foul called away from the ball.
Missing that open shot, that'll bother Beetle. Gets an open look like that, he expects to knock it down.
Foul away from the ball. Wesley Harris will have a chance to shoot, and yeah, Bolden doesn't miss many of those.
No, he doesn't.
Harris hits the first free throw.
Bob Huggins is really pumped up about what he thinks Harris can be. You know, only a sophomore. He's really defensively picked up the different types of schemes that Bob likes to run. He's a student of the game, especially defensively early on. The offense will come in time.
Well, especially when you consider he sat out an entire year.
Yes.
Last year, had an injury, kick to the corner, and a three-point attempt is too strong for Lewis. But had a hand injury, sat out, so he missed an entire year. And it's you know, you got to refine that offensive stroke. Right. I would think that would be the hardest thing to get back, wouldn't it?
It would, but now he did not play, but he still played some basketball. He's still shooting in some, but yeah, in competition, you're right.
Here's Gibbs, and Gibbs able to get it to go. An efficient offensive player. Played at St. Anthony. Coached by Bob Hurley.
Bob Hurley, yes.
Hall of Fame coach.
Legendary.
Yep. Legendary, not too big a word to use when describing Bob Hurley. St. Anthony's closing. Last year was their last year of basketball, last year of existence, as we see the foul called, and that's going to be on Wesley Harris.
Foul is called on Wesley Harris, his first, team foul number 7.
Well, that was a late call. The call was not made there. Now the whistle blows.
By the way, Mohamed Bandari also went to St. Anthony. So,
is that right?
Yeah, met a couple guys on this NJIT team that were coached by the great Bob Hurley.
Target the free throw line for the Highlanders, 1 and in the bonus.
Bob Huggins waving Lamont West in as we get ready for the free throw attempt. And yeah, they seemed a little late there as Tark was getting set to shoot the free throw, and they waved in West, but West is going to have to take a seat and wait.
You know, some things that you're seeing on the Bob Huggins too, and he did it against Missouri the other night. With Sags in trouble, foul trouble, he went to a smaller lineup.
Tark missed the free throw, hit the three. Timeout called by Brian Kennedy following that three.
He went to a smaller lineup. Missouri was massive, 6'10", 6'11", 6. Well, they had to go small too because West Virginia was too quick with them. So against teams that have more size than West Virginia, you can look for West Virginia with their quickness to go smaller, forcing the other team to go smaller as well.
You know, it's the extraordinary player, I think, that can handle defensive quickness and still be effective offensively. We're talking about that in terms of Javon Carter. A bunch of us sitting around watching West Virginia's shoot around earlier, that, you know, where could you defend on the next level? Well, the point guard position, but if you get in on a big wing guy, a 6'4", 6'5" guy who's taller than Javon Carter, if you're quicker and you have that strength, it's hard for you. You know, you think you'd have the advantage. Look, you got to chase around smaller guys. That's a disadvantage. You'd think your size could come to bear against a smaller team, but if they're quicker, that can cause problems too.
Sure. As long as they can hit that mid-range jump shot, that will work for you.
But Bolden now will bring the ball up court.
And by design, Bob Huggins has Bolden bringing the ball up, playing some point guard.
Carter on the curl. Oh, finds Bolden wide open three-pointer.
Not 2 in a row.
And Carter saw that play developing. Mentioned that it was really after his sophomore season he really began to feel comfortable as a distributing point guard. Came in as a 2-guard, just learned the point guard position. Nobody outworks him. Talked to former coach Billy Hahn about Javon Carter. He said he's not low maintenance. He said he's no maintenance. Three-pointer on the other end by Shondell Jones, the Pittsburgh product. And Carter will draw the foul from Lewis. And a chance to shoot 2 free throws when we return with the Mountaineers up 85-53. Streak for Sidney Crosby, 9 points over those 4 games. Mountaineer faithful looking for Javon Carter and company to win a 7th consecutive game. Carter hits the first, 24 points for Javon Carter. To go with 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and the steals record.
All his.
Not a bad night for Javon Carter. Jones up to Bendari. And we know Dax Miles can jump, and he had a chance to prove it there. Foul called as Bendari will go to the free throw line.
The bigger question is who had the blown assignment? There was nobody. That Dax had to run from half court. Lamont West or Teddy Allen, one of the two should have been back.
Bendari misses the first free throw, ending his perfect streak. He was 1 for 1 coming in. Now 1 for 3 as Allen gets the rebound. 7th rebound to go along with 14 points for Teddy Allen. Oh, the alley-oop and Javon Carter off the mark. Oh my.
The bad thing about that, that goes down as a shot for Carter.
Right.
And hit the rim.
That looked, Tark somehow got that in. I'm not sure if the ball was deflected on the way. He ate up a lot of ground with those steps.
Yes, he did.
Seeing some substitutions for the Mountaineers. And some confusion. They have 6 players on the floor. It may look like that sometimes when you're playing against them, but I doubt that will be allowed.
New
Still
rule.
have 6, yeah, and there goes Miles.
New rule
finally
this year,
heading
you can only play with 5.
Man, it must feel like that when you're playing against them, but they have 7. And remember a couple of years ago talking to the coach, said, how do you prepare for this? He said, we have our starting 5 play against the rest of the team. The other 7 guys, you're trying to get it up. You figured if you get it up against 7, you might be able to get it up against 5 on Press Virginia.
Still didn't work.
No, still didn't work. Hunter inside, and Harris will go to the free throw line.
NJIT out of the man-to-man, dropping back zone now. More or less just wanting to play out the stretch here.
Wesley Harris, free throw line for Mountaineers.
Harris hits the first, averaging 7.5 points, 6.5 rebounds per game.
You know, Brian Kennedy will tell his ball club, we've built a lot of good things starting out. Let's not let this game be a thing that tears down the things that we've done. West Virginia does this to a lot of ball clubs in this building, so take it and learn.
Well, Bolden got a hand on it, but right to Jenkins, and now Jones down the middle, and Jones will go to the free throw line. Boy, NJIT, when they've broken that pressure, they have just attacked.
Attacked or either kick out for a 3.
A route with his 4th personal foul, so Magic Bender quickly off the bench. Looks like a check in for him, and Jones It's the free throw.
Magic Bender checks in for the Mountaineers.
You'd think a chance here for Bender to get an extended length of time on the floor. He's only played 3 minutes on the night. Maybe still trying to find his footing a little bit here as Jones hits both free throws.
Well, as foul prone as Konate can be, all of those guys are going to see minutes. There'll be nights when Bender may have to go 20, 23, 25 minutes.
Bolden thought about it. 7 on the shot clock. And Harris will try a step back, arching three-pointer that goes. Wesley Harris.
Give the crowd an assist on this because he did not know that the clock was running down until the crowd started yelling and he heard it and fired it up. It's not good enough to take a 2. Let me back up since I have to throw it up and hit a 3.
Our camera was barely able to find that ball. High arching step back three-pointer with Tark, a good athlete, leaping it in his face and somehow able to get it to go as Gibbs hits the first free throw. Well, Gibbs is an impressive shooter.
Yes, he is.
He's hit all 7 free throws he's attempted this year. Came in 14 of 19 from the floor. I mean, that is some impressive shooting.
Good to see Beetle Bolden getting some work at that point.
D'Angelo Hunter. Seen limited minutes this year, but the freshman getting a chance now. I beg your pardon, Hunter, the junior college transfer, so junior, as he is able to hit that.
Come off
from Navarro College, where he averaged 16 points a game a year ago.
Yeah, come off the pine coal and hit your first jump shot.
So first year of the Mountaineers, I should say. So obviously not a freshman, a junior. Ooh, Jones, tough. Harler defending tough, but commits the personal foul.
Chase Harler called for the first.
Jones, 7 points, has been aggressive offensively.
Shondale Jones at the line for the Highlanders.
Mentioned that family and friends, his dad, grandfather, and some friends have come down from Pittsburgh to watch him play. Teddy Allen in for Chase Harler. And 9 points for Shondale Jones. And NJIT continuing to show pressure here.
Well, that's going to be something that they do during the year.
Jones misses, Tark the rebound, and Tark the follow.
Basket by Tark.
Well, if this second unit can't break the press, that's not going to make Bob Huggins very happy.
It's not. Boy, no respect for Magic Bender, and he hasn't shown that he could hit that shot out there, but defense is just backing off.
Allen hustling, and Harris able to corral. Hunter, three-pointer, off the mark. And rebound back to Hunter. Hunter up, blocked from behind by Bendari. Tark will try from three-point range with the air ball. Allen the rebound.
Teddy.
Allen has a new career high.
Coast to coast like buttered toast.
Teddy Allen with 16. That is a new career high for the freshman.
Number 2, San Antonio Brinson checks in for the Highlanders.
And you were singing his praises earlier, as you have been all year. That
One free throw.
one of those glue guys that not all the points are going to be pretty, but 16 points and 8 rebounds now for Teddy Allen. That coming in 16 minutes.
That's right.
Sags Kanate checks in for the Mountaineers. Abdul Lewis for the Highlanders.
Kanate in for Bolden, so an interesting alignment here with Kanate and Bender in at the same time.
See Bender getting more and more comfortable down low, but still, he's had such a terrible shooting from out on the perimeter that I just think he has absolutely no confidence.
He came in with a reputation as a guy who could shoot it.
His form is fine. I think it's between the ears.
Puts down low, and Jones has it altered, goes back up. Kanate blocks it. Jones trying to keep it alive, battling, and it will be West Virginia basketball as Kanate comes up with another block. The Mountaineers up 96-63.
Catch the Bob Huggins Show on Monday, December 4th.
West Virginia 3 minutes and 47 seconds away from their 7th consecutive victory. Some tough games on the horizon for the Mountaineers, including a game here against Virginia, always tough in a backyard brawl rivalry game at Pitt, even though the Panthers have been struggling. And then 3 games on our air: Wheeling Jesuit, an exhibition game, then Coppin State and Fordham prior to Christmas. West Virginia and Virginia have had some good matchups in recent years.
Yes, they have. Virginia always tough defensively. They play an ugly game. You really have to work to score against them.
NJIT coming out 2-3 zone.
Yeah, they've been playing that. They want to work on that as well. Magic Bender, the only player not to scratch on the boards for West Virginia yet. See if he can get a basket here.
Bolden, long 3. Oh my. 5 feet beyond the 3-point mark with Jones on him.
Unbelievable.
And Dari missed that one. Kanate with a rebound. There's Allen, too strong. The rebound to Lewis. Kanate limited to just 12 minutes of time, so the lone starter remaining out there for West Virginia right now. Cooks, Jones, 3 off the mark. Rebound to Brinson, and his own follow doesn't go in, and now he's going to commit the foul against Kanate.
Follows whistle to number 2.
Guy drives down the lane. Kanate's eyes get big as saucers. he knows that he's going to gobble it up if the guy lets it go. The only problem with it, and Bob Huggins has talked to him about this numerous times, you can't block everything. There are times when you need to let a guy go and don't pick up a foul. Kanate not listening yet, but Bob's at least told.
Well, the great shot blockers, too, right? You can alter a shot, you can block a shot, and then you do it enough. Somebody's driving down the lane, they're looking at you.
Just your presence.
Your presence alone can alter a shot, exactly. As Kanate hits the second. 100 points for the Mountaineers on that free throw from Sags Kanate. Another block for Kanate. And you can't blame him. I mean, it's, you know, right? And he'll learn, but he's young. He's very raw in terms of how much basketball he's played. Went to Kennedy High School, and, you know, he just has not played a lot of basketball coming from Mali.
Well, you know, we talked about Javon Carter tonight setting the all-time, you know, steals. In 2.5 years, we'll be looking in the record books if Kanate stays healthy at all-time blocks.
Well, he certainly has a knack for it.
Yes, he does.
And has some bounce and is big physically. There's Javon Carter.
They at the beach. His demeanor when his basketball playing days are over, you may see him on the sideline someplace.
There's Hunter. No good. You're talking about Coach Carter.
Coach Carter, yes. He's coaching right now. He's a coach on the floor.
Lewis able to track it down. Bendari looking for help now. Will just move in himself to the left hand. Nice move by Mohamed Bendari.
One of the few times you'll see Konate not try to block a shot.
Kennedy, Coach Kennedy yelling out, shooter out, referring to Beetle Bolden. Ball stripped away and will remain West Virginia basketball with 6 seconds left in the shot clock. Wants his team, even late in this game, to identify that Bolden is the guy to not leave open. So inbounds, and Chase Harler won't get many easier than that one.
Good execution of the inbounds play. And again,
Did Konate get a piece of that?
I don't think so, but I don't think Lewis looked at the basket when he shot it.
1 minute to play.
He can be such a weapon for the Mountaineers, but as you mentioned, he's got to be able to stay in the court. Harler will try the three-pointer. No good, and now you look up ahead to Santonio Brinson. Missed the jam, but didn't miss the jam. Well, missed the jam, but got the basket. You know how often you can say that. (102-69). Hunter holding. 6 on the shot clock. Bolden open, long three off the mark. Ooh, Harler wanted to finish that in style, and now Bolden can just dribble the clock out as the Mountaineers, against a game NJIT team, will come away with their 7th consecutive victory. Javon Carter leading the way with 25 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, record-setting number of steals. These coaching staffs, by the way, extremely close. Lots of connections between the two staffs. So a nice slow handshake as they're doing a little catching up, as they did earlier in the day as well. And the Mountaineers rolled to a 7th straight win, 102-69. So Warren, West Virginia gets a bit of a struggle early, but able to pull away late and emphatically win their 7th consecutive game.
Yeah, they got the cogs in motion, and Javon Carter, the catalyst behind that, and everybody, as they usually do, followed.
And a career high for Teddy Allen with his 16 points as we go over to Robbie Inns-Mikowski. Robbie.
Yeah, we got head coach Bob Huggins here. Bob, let's talk about Javon for just a second. How do you describe coaching him?
Well, he's fun to coach. It's a couple of the other ones that drive me crazy, but he's fun.
What kind of leader is he? Just outside of the stats and the numbers that he puts up, what does he mean to your club?
Well, I mean, if anybody watched on TV, whenever it was, Sunday night, he willed us to win. I mean, he was unbelievable in the huddle. He was unbelievable on the floor. He just willed us to win.
How much does he set the example for the younger guys on his team as it takes time to mold into the Press Virginia style that you've been teaching now for almost a handful of years?
Well, you want to have to be molded, you know? If you don't want to be molded, you're not going to be molded. And we got some guys that got to get better, you know, got to accept some responsibility. And as I tell them all the time, I got to be able to trust them. It's hard to play guys you don't trust.
And how does that process come along? How do they earn your trust?
Well, it'll come along well.
Bob, you earned my trust on these answers.
Well, I think well is the right word.
Thanks, Bob. Here comes Javon Carter right here. Javon, first of all, congratulations. Your name is in the record books. What does it mean to you to leave a legacy at such a rich and storied program such as this one?
It means a lot. I didn't think about breaking no records when I got here, and Hugs told me I was going to be a great point guard at this program, and I believed in his word and just play as hard as I can.
You know, you said to me before the game, you thought you might end up in the record books, but it might be for something like most three-pointers made in a game and not steals. How did this evolve into becoming a record for you in that department?
Just playing hard, man. I never thought about breaking a record in steals. It's just how we play, and I just found myself in the right positions at the right time.
You know, anybody that knows you, you're a gym rat. You're in early. You stay late. You're constantly working on your craft. What does it mean to you to set that kind of example for the younger guys that are going to be here and pick up the slack that you leave off after the season?
And let them know that anything is possible. I came here as an under-the-radar guy, and I just worked my butt off and just did whatever it takes.
You got to face Virginia next on this home floor. They've always given the Mountaineers, not always, but they give the Mountaineers a hard time consistently, and especially recently. What challenge do you see coming your way?
We're just going to come in and play, and we're going to see what happens.
What's going to take to beat them?
Whatever it takes.
There it is, Javon Carter. Thank you very much.
No problem.
There it is. Javon Carter, I wouldn't say too much, but hey, whatever it takes. Javon Carter, Robin Warren, a record holder here at the Mountaineers.
He is, and that's the right answer. You know, talking to him before the game about being a leader. Obviously, he's a leader by example, but followed in the footsteps of Juwan Staten and Gary Brown and really learned how to be more of a vocal leader. Impressive performance by Carter today.
Yeah, those were great guys for him to model himself after, and the guys here now have someone that can do it.
7th consecutive victory for the Mountaineers. They're 7-1 as they defeat NJIT 102-69. For Warren Baker, Robbie and Spakowski, all our job shadows and our entire AT&T Sportsnet crew, I'm Rob King. Thanks for watching West Virginia basketball.